Respected dear family members, my pranams to you. We are continuously discussing about the oldest literature of human beings, the Vedas. We discussed a lot about its origin, content, and in the last class we could narrate little bit about the science content in the Vedas. Now today we have to go slightly deep into the subject which everyone should try to understand. It is said that we have got 4 Vedas, Chaturveda. How these Vedas got composed, you know. You can see hundreds of rishis. They composed the suktas, the hymns, of their own interest. Some people looked at the human life and wrote the hymns in the most beautiful poetic way, and they kept it there itself. Some rishis were interested in the nature. Some rishis were interested in the philosophical aspect. Some rishis were interested in sociological, some rishis anthropological, some rishis on scientific, some rishis on economics, prosperity, some rishis on purushartha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, some rishis on prayer, some rishis on divinity, the cosmic system, and so on. Just like nowadays we have got so many poets composing different types of poems, so many painters painting different type of pictures, so many drawing masters who are drawing the nature or different types of pictures of their choice. There are people who are writing the novels of their interest. There are people who are making movies of their choice. In olden days, thousands and thousands of years ago, the rishis composed the poems. Maybe 20 lines, sometimes maybe 5 lines, sometimes very small. आपोहिष्टामयो भुवस्थान ऊर्जे ददादना महेरणाय चक्षसेयो वशिवतमोरसः तस्य भाजयते हन विश्वदीर्घमाद्रा तस्माद् अरङ्गमामवो यस्य क्षयाय जिन्वाता आपोजनयता जनः. This is about water. कृष्णेन रजसा वर्तमानो निमेषयन् अमृतं मर्त्यं च हिरण्ययेन सवितारधेन देवो यादि भुवनानि पश्यन् आप्याय स्वसमेतु देविश्वतः सोमवृष्ण्यं भवावाजस्य संगते समग्निरग्निभिः करच्चन्नस्तवत् सूर्यः संवादो वाक्तुरवापस्निदः. This is about 9 planets, Navagrahas. So like this they have composed different poems. What Krishnadvaipayana Vedavyasa did, Vedavyasa classified all these hymns written by the great Vedic rishis into 4 classes. Into 4 classes. What was the basis of classification of Veda? The pure knowledge based mantras, pure messages. They were composed in Rig Veda. They were piled up or aggregated or grouped together in Rig Veda. So Rig Veda gives you directly the messages, and part of Rigvedic mantra and also part of other mantras which were not included in Rigveda, used for performing yagas, used for performing yajnas, used for performing rituals. They were all compiled in Yajurveda. So pure messages in Rigveda, some of the Rigvedic mantras plus additional mantras meant for performing different type of yaga, Soma yaga, Adhiratra yaga, Ashwamedha yaga, Vajapeya yaga, from Ekaha, Yajna yaga performed in one day, to Sahasraha, those yagas performed in 1000 days. These are all compiled as Karma Kanda in Yajurveda. So Rigveda, pure messages known as Jnana Kanda. So they are giving the Jnanam, messages, knowledge. And Yajurveda mantras, some mantras from Rigveda are also taken, some other mantras were also taken. They were included in Yajurveda, mainly used for performing yagas. Then the question comes, what is Samaveda? Samaveda, you can see, about 5,500 mantras were taken from Rigveda and very few from Yajurveda, and then chanted in the most musical way, beautiful musical way. So Samaveda is known as Samagana. Samaveda is known as Samagana. Rigveda and Yajurveda have got 10 Shrutis, whereas Samaveda has got 14 Shrutis. 14 Shrutis are there. And Samaveda chanted like the most beautiful music or the song chanted by the fishermen when they are going to the ocean for fishing. Beautiful way it is chanted. And suppose you are listening to Samaveda mantra, I used to tell to Muslims, you used to chant the Quran the way it used to be chanted. Then you listen to the Samaveda mantra, how it is chanted for the last 4,000 to 5,000 years. Quran got composed 1,300 years ago, whereas 4,000, 5,000 years ago, how the Samaveda mantras got chanted. So it is Samagana. Samaveda has got independent existence only through the way in which they are chanted. Content wise, they are the same as mentioned in Rigveda. Majority of the Samaveda mantras are from Rigveda. Very few mantras were also taken from Yajurveda. And Samaveda, independent Samaveda has got only 57 mantras belonging exclusively to Samaveda. Remaining 5,400 mantras are taken from Rigveda and Yajurveda. So now we got an idea, classification of Rigveda purely based on collecting the hymns from the rishis composing, containing the messages for the nature, human beings and everything connected with the nature. Yajurveda has got mantras meant for performing yagas, which include partly from Rigveda mantra also. Samaveda's independent mantras are only 57 lines. All 5,000 and odd mantras were taken from Rigveda, little bit from Yajurveda, but they are chanted in an entirely different way. As music, you can see when you are listening Samaveda, if you have got a real interest in Samaveda, it's so beautiful, melodious, and majority of the so-called modern musician may not be in a position to chant Samaveda because it has got 14 Shrutis going up, down. And the last Veda is known as Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda is also equally important, but there is a wrong impression that Atharva Veda is not belonging to the original Veda group. Some people wrongly say that Atharva Veda is the Veda of the people belonging to other religion. These are all wrong. You can see some people say Atharva Veda contains black magic. Absolutely wrong. So equally good mantras are there in Atharva Veda, but the speciality is that Atharva Veda deals with the subject matter connected with the common people. That's the importance. Atharva Veda deals with say agriculture, the health of the people, the disease, the medicinal part, the housewarming celebrations, the marriage celebrations, and also about the nature, Radharohana Mandra, the consecration of a temple, and also the Abhishekam, Raja Pattabhishekam, the king is consecrated in the chair, and so on. So connected with the common man, common people, common group, common society, and about the nation. Slightly different from other Vedas. Slightly different from other Vedas, and majority of the Atharva Veda mantra, the content you can understand from its name itself. Say for example, Krimi Nashana Mantra, Krimi Nashana Mantra, Shatru Samhara Mantra, Radha Arohana Mantra, Jwara Nashana Mantra, Kushta Nashana Mantra. Similarly, you can see hundreds and hundreds of diseases for the curing of those diseases. 4 lines, 6 lines, or 10 lines, or 20 lines. Mantras are used or were used. Those are all compiled in Atharva Veda. Remember that many of the Rig Veda mantras are there in Atharva Veda. Some of the Yajurveda mantras are also this in Atharva Veda. As you know, Rig Veda and Yajurveda mantras are taken for chanting Samagana. So we need not tell that one. From Samaveda, mantras are taken to Atharva Veda. It's not there. So some Rigveda mantra, very few Yajurveda mantras are also available in Atharva Veda mantra. So remember, Atharva Veda is no way inferior. Atharva Veda is no way rejected. Atharva Veda mantras deal with the black magic is an absolutely clear superstition. So Veda mantras convey all these messages. Now another important thing what we should at least listen, even though we may not study it very well, Veda mantras, Rigveda mantra chanting, Yajurveda mantra chanting, and Atharva Veda mantra chanting, almost the same. Say for example, Sahasra Shirisha Purisha Sahasraksha Sahasrabad Sabhomim Vishwado Vritvatyadishtat Tishangulam Purusha Evedam Sarvam Et Bhodam Et Chabhavyam Udamrudatvasye Shanaha Yadannena Tirohadi Davanasya Mahima Athodjayagamscha Purushaha. Rigveda mantra chanting. Yajurveda mantra chanting. Namaste Rudramanya Vaudodayishave Namaha. Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bhagubhyamudate Namaha. Yatayishu Shivadama Shivam Babhuvate Dano Shiva Sharvya Yadavatayano Rudramridaya Yate Rudra Shivatanura Gora Babakashini Tayanastano Vashandama Yagiri Shanda Bijakashi Yamisham Girishanda Haste Vivarshyastave Shivam Giritratam Guru Mahiyam Se Purusham Jagada Shive Navajasa Tva Girishacha Vadamasi. This is Yajurveda mantra chanting. As I chanted earlier, you can see Apsume somo apraveda Abogishamayo bhavastana urje dadadana Maheranaya jakshaseyo vashivadamo rasaha Tasya vajaya dehana yasadir vamadara tasmad Arangamama voyasya kshayaya jinvada Abojanayata janaha. This is another Veda mantra. So almost all the three Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda are chanted in the same way. Whereas Samaveda it is different. Agnimile purohidam yajnasya devamritwijam I have given only an example. I have not gone deep into the Samaveda, just to inform you that it is different from other Veda mantra chanting. I chanted here. So, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda chanting remain almost the same. Samagana is a purely long musical way of chanting. Now coming to the next important point, remember that all over the world, if you are taking Rigveda, all over the world, people chant in three ways. People chant in slightly different three ways. First way is Kerala Nambudiri way. Kerala Nambudiris chant Rigveda in a particular way known as Shaunaka Shiksha. Just for your understanding, don't go deep into that. Say for example, Shaunaka Shiksha, Kerala Nambudiris, only Kerala Nambudiris chant like that one. Agnimite purohitam yajnasya devamritwijam hotaram yajnadhatamam Agni purve bhirshibhiridyo nutanairuta. This is Nambudiri way of chanting, Shaunaga Shiksha. There is another way of chanting, Yajnavalkya Shiksha. All South Indian Vedic scholars chant like this. All South Indian scholars chant like this, and the mantra chanted in Shaunaka Shiksha few seconds back, I shall chant in Yajnavalkya Shiksha. Agnimile purohitam yajnasya devamritwijam hodaram ratnadadamam agni purve bharshibhiridyo nudanairuta sadevang ehavakshati Agnina arayimasnavat poshameva dive dive yasasam viravattamam agneyam yajnamadvaram vishwadapparibhurase sayideveshu gacchati agnirhota akavikradu satyaschitrasravastamaha devo deve viragamada. Yajnavalkya Shiksha. So all over the world, if you are taking one Veda, Rigveda, Rigveda is chanted in three different ways, but all the rules of chanting remain the same. All the rules of Veda mantra chanting remain the same, but slightly they will be following differently. So Kerala Nambudiri way I chanted known as Shaunaga Shiksha, and South Indian way Yajnavalkya Shiksha, North Indian way Narayana Shiksha. Agnimite purohidam yajnasya devamritwijam hotaram ratnadhatamam agnipurve bharshibhira idyo nudanairuta sadevanga yehavakshati sa Agninarayimasnavata pushameva dive dive yasasam viravattamam. Rikara everywhere ends in Rikara. So these are the preliminary knowledge. Don't worry, whether you could understand or you could not understand. Then for not understanding, why did I explain it here? If you are asking such a question, my answer is that many people wrongly interpret the Vedas, many people wrongly explain the Vedas. Unfortunately, even the Vedic scholars do not know these differences, the real meanings, the messages, etc. Of course, I am also not that clearly knowledgeable, but still when I used to take classes for different type of people, naturally I am expected to know what are the Vedas and why they are compiled like this, what are the messages, experiences and other things present in the Vedas. These questions used to come. So when I have to give the answer, I should learn that. So for the last 40 years, I was fortunate enough to go through these Vedas, particularly after coming to Trivandrum for the last 32 years. Under the Vedic scholars, I am trying to learn the Vedas. But remember that learning of Veda has got only a beginning. It does not have an end. Veda mantra learning is a very complicated system, and now you know about Rig Veda, how the Veda mantras are compiled. Different rishis wrote the poems. Krishna Dvaivayana Veda Vyasa compiled it into Jnana, messages all compiled in Rig Veda. Mantras used for performing yagas compiled in Yajurveda. Majority of the Rig Veda mantra and small bit of Yajurveda mantra, total numbering about 5,100 or so, and independently 57 mantras of Samaveda. They were chanted in the most musical way as Samagana. Atharva Veda has got the mantras whose content, subject matter is generally connected with the common man. And Atharva Veda is also equally important when compared to that. After classifying the 4 Vedas, the Indian speciality is that the knowledge never got stagnant. You can see in Quran, no addition is permitted, no deletion is permitted. In Bible also, no addition is permitted, no deletion is permitted. Because always the Quran and Bible used to be quoted by telling the number of the chapter and the number of the line. 6th chapter, 7th line, Jehovah tells like this. But this number is not applicable in the case of Veda mantras, mainly because after classifying the Vedas into 4 groups, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharva Veda, Krishna Dvaivayana Veda Vyasa gave the 4 Vedas to his disciples and told them to do addition, deletion, modification and correction. I repeat that sentence. The Parama Guru Veda Vyasa, Vyasaya Vishnurupaya, Vyasarupaya Vishnave, Vyasarupaya Vishnave. So Veda Vyasa, after classifying the total poems, hymns into 4 classes, gave the 4 Vedas to 4 disciples and told them to do addition, deletion, modification and spread the Veda mantras in your own way. So that freedom existed in India for the last many thousand years. Never Veda Vyasa said, whatever I have done, don't do anything further. Whatever I have done is the last, and further addition, deletion, modifications are not permitted. He never said like that. He told knowledge should grow, it should expand, just like the river flowing, knowledge should flow. And every Shishya, student, has got the freedom to further expand, further add, further delete or further modify the knowledge. Because Knowledge should never get stagnated. Stagnation is death, life is growth. That is what happened for other religious literature. The religious literature composed 2000 years ago may not be applicable exactly in the same way nowadays. Religious literature created 1300 years ago cannot be applied exactly in the same way nowadays. So addition, deletion, modifications are needed, which was permitted in India, including in Vedas. But whenever somebody modified that Veda, that modified version will be known under the name of that particular disciple. That's why it came. Rig Veda has got Shakala Shaga, recomposed by Shakala Maharshi. Bhaskala Shaga, recomposed by Bhaskala Maharshi. Sangyayana Shaga, Rig Veda recomposed by Sangyayana Maharshi. Kaushitaki Shaga, recomposed by Kaushitaki Maharshi. Remember that these four are now available. There were 27 versions, recensions. All other 23 got lost. All other 23 Rig Veda recensions got lost. Only 4 are available now. Among these 4, much differences are not seen. A few words or few lines or different type of classifications are given in the 4. Similarly, Yajurveda, 108 recensions are there. 108 recensions, of which about 35 are available now. Remaining got lost. So, they are known as Chagalina Shaga, Haradraviya Shaga, Kanva Shaga, Vishwamitra Shaga. Like that, each Shaga is known under a specific Rishi who was lucky enough, fortunate enough to take the original Veda from the hands of Vedavyasa, and further it went penetrated down to different generations of the students, and they did addition, deletion and modifications. Then that came to know in his own way, and he started spreading to his own students. Similarly, Samaveda has got 1000 recensions, of which about 40 or 50 are available now. Others are not available. About Atharva Veda, 52 recensions are available. Atharva Veda, 52 recensions are available. Majority of which got lost. Only very few are there. So remember, knowing the Vedas is not that simple. That's why people used to say you need not learn Vedas. And nobody said you should not learn Vedas. You need not learn Vedas. You need not have to learn Vedas, because it is complicated. It is difficult. Unlike learning or reading Ramayana or Mahabharata or Puranas, studying Vedas is not that easy. So whenever I am explaining all these points today to you, you might have got the depth of complication in that. Remember that I am not an expert in Vedas. Whatever I have studied for the last 40 years, I just presented it to you. Those who are interested in knowing the Vedas and Hindu Dharma should go to. So that's why it is specifically explained in English. That's why it's specifically explained in English instead of Malayalam or other languages. Thank you very much. My pranams to you. Thanks a lot.